Hello, my friends on YouTube. Today is Sunday, the 16th of October 2022, and today's video actually I changed my topic this morning as I opened the news and I was checking the news, and it's concerning two subjects that happened in India. And even though the situation in the Middle East, especially in Iran at this time, also Turkey, is very dangerous, and what's happening between Russia and Ukraine, it's dangerous. However, I honestly feel what's going on in Iran is more explosive than what is going on in Russia. Okay, let's start. The part that I wanted to include in today's subject, I'm going to speak about it, and it is concerning India also, and it is about, I said the title of the video is The Law of Contempt over Religion or Religions. In the Middle East, there is a law, not in all Islamic countries, but I know it does exist in Egypt. It's a law. It says you cannot contempt religions. And when you say religions, they say the religions coming from God, which are Judaism, Christianity, and they kind of like pushed Islam as a religion. And that's a very deceiving law, and the reason is in many religions, but specifically Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, there are Jews who actually criticize Judaism. Not only Judaism, they criticize Moses, and they make fun of him. And there are also many Christian or many Western people, they make fun of Jesus, of Christianity, and you never hear of a Muslim, of those who put this law together, that there is no contempt of religion. They come out to defend Moses or Jesus from the contempt that these people are doing. For example, I give you an example about maybe 25, 30 years ago. Maybe 30 years ago, there was a movie called The Temptation of Christ. And that movie was actually portraying Jesus as a lost person. He doesn't know really what he's doing, and he was crazy and didn't have a clear direction in life, and so on and so forth. And many Christian clergy and Christian people really didn't like that very much. However, it passed. Probably many of you never heard of that movie. It went. You never heard of any Muslim who came out to object and say, or say, this is, according to the law that we have, this is a contempt of religion, because Jesus was a prophet, as the Muslim believed, and to degrade this prophet and to say he was confused or crazy or didn't know what he was doing, this is a contempt of religion. No. Maybe about, I really can't remember, but about 15 years ago, there was an American artist who painted Jesus and submerged him in urine. And for the Christian, this is really, I don't think any Christian person would want to see his religious leader, the top religious leader in Christianity, to be shown submerged in urine. And we didn't hear one single Muslim leader or otherwise from these Islamic countries who have that law that you shouldn't contempt the heavenly religions said anything. Only when you speak about the ideology that came 1400 years ago with all kind of crazy stuff, and when you open a subject that it is written and it's true and it is historical, I mean it has things in the history books that it says that stuff happened, then they tell you you are contempting the religion, the religions, because you criticized their stuff. You criticize Christian, Jews, Buddhists, Hindus, doesn't matter. Only when you criticize our stuff, even if it's true, cannot talk about it, because you will show that we are sick. So, even though it includes Jewish faith and Christian faith, the law that you shouldn't contempt the religions of God, and there are three: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Three. You can criticize Moses and the Torah and the whole tradition of the Old Testament, no problem. Even though they are supposed to come and say you are contempting a prophet, one of the main prophets that God sent. No. You can contempt Jesus, you can contempt Christianity, you can contempt the New Testament. You never hear them saying anything. Only if you ask the question of something that it is in Islam, such as, why did the Prophet at the age of 54 married a 9-year-old child? Isn't that a pedophilia? You are sarcastic. You are contempting the order of heaven. You ought to be killed. Or you ask the question of something else happened. If the Jewish people in the city of Khaybar surrendered to the Prophet of Allah, why did he have to kill between 600 to 900 men who were not fighting, and they surrendered? Why did he have to slaughter them? They surrendered, just let them go. Tell them to leave. Why did he have to slaughter them? Slaughter them. He ordered his people to slaughter them. Isn't that war crime? No, you can't talk about that. You are a bigot. You're contempting the religion of Allah. You ought to be killed. Yes, but he did. Doesn't matter. You don't talk about that. Don't talk. Okay. After he slaughtered them, did he have to rape the daughter of the head of the tribe on his way back? Now you are really putting yourself on the line. I could kill you for that. That will be the answer. So in a way there is a feeling of shame of what this guy did. I don't want to mention his name because I don't want him to remove my video. But you know, whom am I talking about? Why did he rape that woman? They tell you, oh, no, she loved him. And if she loved him, that will be strange for a woman to love a man after he killed her brother, husband, father, all of her cousins, from her father and mother side, all the men, and then give the women to his army to rape. And he, on his way back, rapes her. Even if she loved him, would she be still in love with this man? I don't think so. And if you ask about that, you're contempting the religion of Allah. You ought to be killed. It's either shut up or we kill you. I'm coming why I'm saying that. Okay? That is one thing here. Or you ask, for example, about he forbid adoption, the adoption of children. Okay, maybe he saw that adoption because that child is not really of the couple, the husband and the wife, and a child, maybe he saw a child has to be of the line, the seed of the man with the egg of the wife, and that is your lineage, that is your child. So if you take care of another child that who is not of your own seed, or your egg, the seed and egg of the couple, yeah, you can take care of him, but he's not really of your lineage. I understand that. But he had an adopted son himself. Okay, you won't say he is not really my son, I just helped to raise him up. Fine. But did you have to take his wife and sleep with her to make a point? And you could say, okay, from now on, no adoption because it violates God's law. Did you have to have sex with his wife, the wife of your adopted son? Tell him to divorce her? Oh no, Allah told you to tell him that he must divorce her so that you can enjoy. You open these things, they tell you shut up. Okay, that is the introduction. I'm going to say why I said that. This ideology, whether we like it or not, they always try to push to open the way for dictatorship. The leader who leads economically, militarily, politically, everything. He's the leader of everything. Similar to the situation of North Korea. Or China, especially like 30 years ago. Well, it's still the same actually. It's just they allow them to have some economic freedom, but one man in charge of everything. That one party stuff. That it never brought a good result. If you search the whole history, that one party dictatorship stuff never really ended well in any country. So, in India, there is a court case in India, and the judges are split. They have a split decision, and I don't know why, about girls, Muslim girls going to schools and colleges with hijab covering their head. You are free to put whatever you want on. You are free. I am not against what you wear. However, if the school is a public school, you, whether you are Hindu or Muslim or Christian, ought to respect the rules of the school. Don't make exception. Or they are Muslim, so they must be in hijab. Or they are Hindu, they must come with their turban on or something. You respect the school that you are attending, and you respect the rules that the school put. There's no exception. But they are pushing. And the fact that the judges are split, it means some people want that stuff to keep pushing. Okay, now they take that they can go to school like that with covering their heads. Later on, they will be pushing for uh, a mosque in the school so the Muslim can pray. And then they will push, okay, at the time of prayer, you have to stop the school so that the Muslim kids can go to pray. And at certain point, the school became Muslim school. And then the country became Muslim country of dictatorship. One Khalifa, one man on top tells everybody what to do, or else you will be killed if you don't obey. This also happens in communist countries, North Korea, China, the former Soviet Union. One party dictates everything to everybody and everybody must obey. Say, yes, sir. And now, unfortunately, this kind of system, whether it's coming from communist dictatorship who infiltrated the West and specifically America, the United States of America, made their way to the top offices here in America and in Europe, and they are bringing that one party thing. And last time Joe Biden, he said it. They are saying it clearly now. If you support any other idea other than what we are saying, the Democratic Party saying now, you are a terrorist. You vote for Donald Trump or any other party other than our party. Well, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, actually, the Republican Party is more dangerous than the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party, at least they know, everybody knows that they are going way left. The Republican pretend they are going the right direction, but actually they agree with the Democrats, most of them, because they are paid. They are paid, and they are paid well. So you have now that is happening in India, and the government is split. The judges are split. Why are you split? Isn't that clear to you? It's clear to me, and I'm not a judge. I'm not as knowledgeable as the judges of the law, but I can see it. Why are you split? This is actually for Indian people to question these people. Okay, what is disturbing today, what I read on the news, is about a professor. His name is T.J. Joseph. Used to teach in a college in India. And he was making analogy, and he used in the analogy a crazy person. And he said, I didn't mean to offend anybody, and I didn't mean it as the founder of Islam. He used the name Muhammad as a crazy person in his teaching, not knowing that, or probably knew, but it didn't occur to him that that will be taken on the wrong way, that Muhammad, the founder of Islam. And because he said it's a crazy person doing crazy stuff, and he pretended his name would be Muhammad, the Muslim students met and they had to do something. He contempted the religion and contempted the Prophet of Allah, and therefore he ought to be killed. It is very disturbing. The story is extremely disturbing, and the government of India knew what they are up to, and yet they didn't do much. They didn't do enough, because the man almost died. They knew how he moved, they studied his movement, and even though he was in hiding, similar to Salman Rushdie, they send him a gang of people with axes, axes to chop him to pieces. They sever his hand, his right hand, with the axe, and they almost severed his arm, was hanging by a thread. They almost severed one of his legs, and they beat him up to a point that he was dead, literally. They rushed him to the hospital and they operated on him for 16 hours to try to stitch him back together. And he survived. But this is an experience that he went through, because there are crazy people that if you speak, you should die. Salman Rushdie. Actually, the book of Salman Rushdie, it's kind of funny funny book, but from far away he is talking about the Prophet of Allah, that he was a crazy guy, so somebody had to kill him. And that was 1980, I think his book came 1988, something like that, 87, 88. And the guy who tried to kill him, he was not even born, yet he ought to be killed. And this man is a professor, and because that name is Muhammad, very common in the area where he is teaching, so he used it. And because he used it, he ought to be killed. Because we are working on one party, one single party. The communists are working on the same thing, and the Muslim, one from each end. And unfortunately, now, if you say something, you are supposed to have freedom of speech. You can say what's in your head, what you are thinking. Whether people agree with you or not is not the issue. We should have that freedom. But a little by little, they are taking it away from us. If you say a wrong word now, or a word that it doesn't go with the narrative, YouTube will take my video down. It has to be with the narrative, with the same vein everybody's going. Otherwise, you ought to be excluded or killed. Even if this professor meant that the person who used was really Muhammad, the founder of Islam, and he thinks he is crazy, or he was crazy, that's his opinion. You let people think freely and express their opinions. We cannot stop that. However, there is that trend, whether it's from the Islamic side or the communist side, pushing to control everybody not to talk and follow or pay the price with your life. I'm sorry once again, all those my videos are not very, it's not like for comedy. I'm sorry, but this is what's happening. We hope to hear from you.